Welcome to the Solis. Today we are looking at 6 differences between Norwegian and Australian supermarkets. This is a very important topic for everybody because we are all using too much money in those kind of shops. The first thing we are going to talk about today is the prices. And not that it's expensive, that's something we will talk about later, but this is about how the prices are looking in the supermarket. In Norway, you can have a sale and you can have something that is a bit cheaper a week, for example. In Australia, I have found many different kinds of ways of showing that it's cheap, and it's almost half of the shop. You have a lot of 2 for 1.
Yeah, that's an impression. Everything is on sale.
Everything is on sale, yeah. So we always buy, for example, 2 Cola Zero. It's because it's 2 for 1. And then you need to buy chips, and then you have to buy the same brand, and you have 2 for 1. And you feel, well, I made a good deal. But it's a bit of not the best feeling because you know you're getting ripped off. The same as the wow prices. I was in a pharmacy yesterday, and half the shop was wow prices. And don't come and tell me that they are like destroying themselves while I'm there. So yeah, I'm not that kind of a fool, and I'm sure you guys are not either.
The next thing is how we pack our groceries in the shop. It's very great that Australia has those paper bags that you can purchase when you are in the shop. They are not expensive, but I feel they are not so convenient to carry a lot of things if you don't have a car, for example, and you forget your bag. I was many times in the shops and I forgot something, and I had backpack and something. I had to carry that as a baby because I was afraid that it will rip, fall apart, and when it was raining, the same. So in Norway, we have not very environmental friendly solution, but we have those plastic bags that are a little bit bigger. They are also expensive, so you don't want to buy them so often. So you maybe are more cautious, and you try to remember your textile bag with you. But if you don't, you can buy that more expensive plastic bag. You can reuse it many times because they are very strong, and you can really carry a lot of things in it.
Yeah. In Norway also, it's not many years ago that it cost less than 10 cents for one plastic bag, and Norwegians just use them as also the trash can, and that was not very environmental. And now they've just put up the prices a lot, so now it's very expensive. It's almost $1, I think.
I think now it's more than $1.
More than $1 for one plastic bag. But at least if you are missing a bag, it's a very good plastic bag. So it's you can put a lot in it and it will not get destroyed. So yeah.
And you can really reuse it many times.
A thing I love in Australia is that you can pay for your food and do it yourself. It's a bit in Norway now, and I'm sure in Oslo it's a lot more. But in Australia, it looks like Woolworths and Coles have just made that into a normal thing now that you can manage yourself. And I like it when I have 10 things because there's no queues. I haven't been in a queue yet, I think. In Norway, it's almost always a queue. And some shops are good at calling for help when there's a queue, but most of the time you're standing and waiting for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's a good system. And if you have a lot, there's also a solution that you can go and do it with a shop person. And what I find a little bit funny and sad also is the young people that work now. They are not. I have been working in a cashier before. I've been a cashier, and it was an awful job because it was so stressful. It was always people, and it was doot, 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 doot. And now they're just standing there, and the only job they have is to take away, what you call it, the thing to have food in. When I'm finished.
Yeah.
The basket, yeah, they take that away. That's the job.
And they help sometimes with some points, or if you want to cancel something, or the wrong price came on the.
And most of the day they're just standing there. That's a very, very long day. So I feel sorry for the young people.
Okay, maybe let's talk a little bit about what you can buy in the shops. So when I'm in the shop alone or with my daughter, sometimes we would like to get some ice cream because it's hot. Of course, we want to cool down. But you cannot buy 1 or 2 ice creams in the shops in Australia, in the those big shops.
Coles and Woolworths, yeah.
Coles and Woolworths, yes. So that's a bit annoying that we cannot get only one. You need to buy a multi-pack, so it's 3 or 4 or more. And of course, we will not eat that many at one go. So
Yeah, in Norway, you can, as in a kiosk, you can buy one ice cream, same as everywhere else. And don't you miss that, Australians, that you can just buy one ice cream? Or is that just not something you need when you're in that kind of a shop? I don't know, but they're also cheaper sometimes in the supermarket in Norway. So then you go there and buy an ice cream and not in a petrol station or kiosk.
7-Eleven or something,
Yeah.
because that's available. Yeah.
We have talked about the bread in Norway before, and we are going to mention it again. And it's called kneip in Norway. That's the one I eat a lot. It's a very normal bread. And we can't find any similar breads in Australia, and even the expensive ones doesn't feel right. You have a lot of different kinds of breads, but most of them are what I call loaf white bread with, and if it's a grainy bread, it's still the same. You can mush them into a ball, all of them. And
Yes.
if you buy from the bakery department inside the supermarket, it's kind of a chewy experience. It feels like something from most of the world, Spain, but have you guys in Australia, when some of you I'm sure are baking at home and making a bread, and it should be then more crispy and what I think of as a bread, as what we eat in Norway. It's more food in it, I feel.
Yeah, I also can add that I don't feel buying like bread for each day when as a family and pay $7, $8, $9 for bread. It's also quite expensive,
Yeah.
I can say.
Yeah. So that's a big difference. The bread also in Denmark is the same. Sweden is a bit different, but Denmark and Norway has more food in their bread, I feel. And then the last part, and that's something I always think a lot about. It's, of course, about money, and it's about politics, and it's about the power ripping off the small people. And in Australia, you have 2 very big chains, and it's Woolworths and it's Coles, and usually they are side by side, and I feel they are completely the same. It's the same size, and they have the same systems, and they have the same
Kind of the same offers.
same
at the same
offers,
time. Yeah.
same food, and they have the Coles products and they have the Woolworths products. The same is in Norway. They also try to make you buy something a bit cheaper that they kind of made themselves. So that's not the different part, but it's even worse in Australia than in Norway, because in Norway you have 3 very big kings on top that have then some different kind of shops underneath. So you can find a very big one as Coles and Woolworths, and then you have a smaller one that is more messy and less people, but then it's cheaper. But you can't find everything you're looking for. You have a big shop with some fresh food, some butcher and better vegetables, then it's more expensive. Here in Australia, it looks like you just have one, and it's the big one. And I'm sure then that you get even more ripped off in Australia than you are in Norway. And I'm sure Norway is getting there. They're talking about that it's not good for the people because some people are on the top earning billions. And I'm sure they are doing that in Coles and Woolworths also. And I've seen many Australians complain about the prices. And your main problem here is that you have 2 main actors, and you have Aldi that you should cheer for. So if you have Aldi nearby, only go there is my point. And hope that one day you will get a 4th, because then you have competition and they don't have the exact same prices. That sounds fantastic because you get 2 for 1, but those 2 for 1 is actually just 2 expensive ones.
Yeah.
So
Enough about serious stuff.
yeah, let's take a more funny one.
Yeah, I have a question for the women watching our channel. Is it also like this with you? When your man is going to the shop and he's about to buy two things, he's coming home with two things. Because when I'm going to the shop and I have two things on my list, I'm coming with two bags full of different things that I just found because we will need it. And it's maybe on the summer good offer. Is it like this with you as well?
Of
I always
course.
find it so funny.
Of course it is, and it's not funny at all. And as a man, you send your wife in, she's just gonna pick up a liter of milk and it takes half an hour.
Yeah.
So no, it's not funny. And it's even less funny if you have to join her in that shop because you need to see the whole shop and your back is hurting and you should have been to the pub or a kiosk or a park or just not going with her at all.
I really think
staying
you
at
have
home.
to accompany your wife each time.
Yeah. So enough about supermarkets. Next video will be most probably about Byron Bay or SeaWorld or both. Until then, please subscribe, please like and follow us, and we are growing and we are very happy. So it's very nice that you comment and we answer everything we can. Have a nice day.